Good morning, everyone. I'm very thankful to all of you for giving such a overwhelming response. And I welcome all the faculty members, research scholars, and students who have come here to participate in this one-day workshop on intellectual property rights. This workshop has been jointly organized by Gujarat University and National Innovation Foundation. So I welcome you all, and I also welcome Professor Anil Gupta ji, whom we met last time in this particular hall itself on 23rd July 2014. Although he doesn't need any introduction, but it is customary to speak some lines on him. He is a recipient of Padmashree National Award from the Honorable President of India 2004 for distinguished achievements in the field of management education. He is a professor at Center of Management in Agriculture at IIM Ahmedabad, holding Executive Vice Chair in National Innovation Foundation. He is a fellow of Berlin Fellow, European Business School. He is a fellow of the World Academy of Art and Science and fellow of National Academy of Agriculture Science. He is a coordinator of Srishti, which takes, Srishti is an organization, NGO, which takes 2 Shodh Yatras every year, and last one, 33rd, was completed in this year in May. And the next Shodh Yatra may be probably in Sikkim this year itself. And he's a founder member of Honeybee Network. Sir, I, on my personal behalf and on behalf of everyone present here, welcome you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I also welcome Dr. M.N. Patel, who doesn't need any introduction and who is currently being the Vice Chancellor of our oldest university of the state, that is the Gujarat University. So I would like to say only a few lines about him, that he's a member of the Governing Council of Indian Association of Indian Universities. He's a member of the governing body in IIM Ahmedabad. Also member of various committees constituted by UGC, Gujarat government as well as central government, and above all, he has proven record of being an able, competent and motivating administrator. Sir, I, on my personal behalf and on behalf of everyone present here, welcome you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And now comes, I would like to welcome Dr. Vipin Kumar. Dr. Vipin Kumar is a Director of Chief Innovation Officer of National Innovation Foundation, India, which is an autonomous body of Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. He has published over 40 research papers in the Journal of International Repute and compiled 26 books on innovations. He commercialized over 25 products based on grassroots innovations through various companies. Dr. Kumar has handled over more than 15 projects as a principal investigator. Dr. Kumar is a member of various prestigious committees like DBT, CSIR, ICMR, and National Biodiversity Authority. I, on my personal behalf and behalf of all members present here, welcome you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, with this, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to give some opening remark for today's function.
Good morning to one and all. I think extra chairs are just placed, but some seats are vacant in front. Please come. Please come in front. So as said that for Professor Anil Gupta, the man looks like a simple person, but by work he is a giant that so many of us are knowing. His contribution in the area of innovation, as you see, and it is said for the Shodh Yatra, and lot of new initiative as he has taken. Scientist Vipin Kumar, he is also associate with that foundations, directors of schools, professors, and my dear student friends, participants. As so far, Gujarat University is the oldest university and had contributed lot for the society. Somehow there is a lot of competitions, new organization, new academic institution has come up, and at that time we have to go for some analysis. Normally, any institution, they are going for the SWOT analysis. Now, what strength is remain with you, what opportunity you are having, what threats which prevent you. So, with this, we have to move ahead so that we can pace with the other academic institution and what we can contribute for the society. There are several areas for which we meant for. Universities for mostly for the postgraduate and doctorate work. Lot of work is going on in form of a research, but we are not that aware how to publicize that, how to put it to the on an open portal, or how we can go for that work which can help directly to the society. That sort of awareness is sometime, even though it may be there, but we are not knowing, and due to that our work may not be shown outside. So as a part of that, this type of lot of workshops, seminar are to be conducted in the campus. That is what my dream is. And I said that VK Jain sir, just to go for this type of program. No doubt IPR is not the new area, and it is a continuous process which is just prevailing in the campus. Regular features are there, but the students every year are coming new and new, and for them also to make awareness, this type of thing are to be carried out. I will give the example of Gujarat Technological University, where there is a regular IPR workshop is carried out at various places, colleges, and for number of time in one college. So as a result of that, you may be knowing that highest number of patents are registered by the GTU student, and that cross more than 1000 number. And as a result of that, no doubt a lot of contribution is from the Gupta sir and his team. So as a result of that, the director of that patent straightway reached to the GTU and said that what you did, that how this much number or how this number of patent are registered. So only reason is that the more and more awareness, more and more such workshops are carried out at various places of GTU institutions. And even he said that this much number of research or patent is not registered even by IIT, then it's really a magic. And then onwards, that GTU is considered to be the innovative university. It's only 6-year-old child. Even though if it can contribute this much, then we have a great heritage. We have a great, rather we can contribute lot for society in Gujarat University. And I have worked both the places. So my dream or my will is always to see that the entire campus should be in a form of a research-oriented work. Out of you, I think we are knowing that Kirit Joshi, who expired few weeks back, he was a eminent educationalist. I think how many of us we are knowing to him. It's a very surprise story for him. Even though he was an IAS officer, start his career as an assistant collector in Surat in 1956. After a job of 1 year, he has gone to the Mataji Pandecheri, and he devoted his life entirely for how to make this education, especially to be worthy, directly useful to the society. He was a person work as various capacity, and lastly, last 4 years, our Honorable Chief Minister at that time invited him as to work as advisor, and he established few of the organization. Because the education system which we have got from the Britishers may be a good, may have some limitations. Some of the limitation I used to tell that passing standard is given 35% by the Britisher, and that's why we are not coming up to that level, because we always see that this is the threshold we have to cross. So we are not thinking on the high level. Similarly, there are several things which is given by the Britishers by which we are not coming up, but now by this Innovations Council, and also that Kirit Joshi has just started 2-3 initiatives which we all are knowing. One is a children university, another is a institute of the teachers education, that is a teachers university, and a innovation council, Gujarat Innovation Council, where all these type of things are to be taken, promoted, so that lot of work can be performed, can be carried out, and as a result of that, we people can do something for the society. Now it is a mandatory by UGC also, whatever work you are doing, that should be open so that everyone can extend that work in future for their further work. You know, Sodh Ganga is a scheme of MHRD where our all publications are to be displayed on the web. Gujarat University, by use of its library through Infinet, you see that our ranking is slowly coming up and we have reached up to 37. But it is in India, that is not the good number for us. It was no doubt more than 100 few years back. Now it has come to 37, but we have to come up to much higher in that numbering, at least within one digit if we can come, then and then our old heritage can justify it. So for that we have started putting all these theses, all this dissertation on the web, and we are going to create that ETD, that is the Electronics Thesis and Dissertation Lab in our library, where UGC is going to fund us, and our all work, research works are to be displayed on these websites. I think lot of initiative MHRD level is going on. We are also lucky that our next door Professor Anil Gupta is available, and with a short notice, as and when we are calling him, he is available to us. He in his life has doing lot of work. A simple person doing lot of work. We have also to learn from him, from his simplicity. And as we have choose this, especially my professors, this academic noble profession, where we can contribute lot for the society. My best wishes to all participants, those who are going to learn or interact for this particular IPR workshop, and by that they will be motivated, they will do something, they will go in detail, so that their work will definitely be useful at large for the society. Again, I welcome to all on behalf of Gujarat University. Special thanks to VK Jain to arranging this, and more such type of workshop should come in the campus of Gujarat University. That is what my dream is, and I hope so everybody will support in. My best wishes again to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your encouraging remarks, and I am sure that by the full participation of all the participants and the mind-boggling forthcoming sessions, and with your wishes, blessings and support, we will reach to some conclusion which will certainly bring out some patents from this university this year or next year. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Professor Anil Gupta for his inaugural address.
Namaskar. Good morning. I was very happy to hear from Dr. Patel about many ideas and dreams that he has for the university, because I have seen him over the last several decades, how relentlessly he has encouraged young people not coming in the way, not letting administrative system coming in the way. And I am sure in Gujarat University we will see the same vibrance, where not only we will produce intellectual property but also harness it for the larger social good. The history of intellectual property goes back. Many of you might recall that when Taj Mahal was built, what happened to the hands of the workers? They were cut. Why were they cut? Because somebody was trying to prevent another copy being made, isn't it? That was an exercise of an intellectual property right on the design. Very cruel way, very unfortunate way, very sad way, but nevertheless a boundary was being drawn around a structure, around a design of a structure, so that other couldn't make it. That is more than 500 years ago. There was a long tradition in Burdwan in Bengal. There was a particular variety of mango which used to be sent to Viceroy. Now villagers were very conscious of the fact that this is sent as a customary gift to the Viceroy every year, but Viceroy should not grow this mango in his garden, otherwise he will not like to have a gift from our village. So what they used to do, they took a very thin needle and they will puncture the seed. You can't see it from outside, but the seed has been punctured. Once you puncture the seed, it will not grow. So that was also an exercise of property right. The village was preventing somebody else from using the genetic diversity of that village and multiplying it and not benefiting from it. So, don't think that IPR is a Western concept. Don't think that IPR is a post-industrial society invention. IPRs have existed sometime in very benevolent form, but sometime in very malevolent form. There have been restrictions on diffusion of knowledge in some of the scriptures, as you know, which is not good, which is not what we want to encourage. But I am saying that the concept of drawing boundaries around knowledge is not new. That must be very clear. Now, when we look at the historical evolution of intellectual property right and come to the recent past, it's very interesting that many of the students here would recall, when we think about filing patents, what are the three things that we should look at? Very simple, very, very simple. Material, method, and application. If you dichotomize each dimension into old and new, so old material, old method, old application, new application, at least one of the three should be new. You can file a patent. So, let us take the case of azithromycin. Azithromycin is an old compound, well known. Method is also known. Application for pesticide as a pesticide is also known. So, naturally that we cannot file. But if it is used for growing hairs on the baldy head, which is one of the patent on use of azithromycin, then that is protectable. In many countries, use patents are not allowed unless there is a significant improvement in the structure. If you extract azithromycin in a storage stable form, it is a very unstable compound, photosynthetic compound. That method is protectable. If you find a non-azithromycin containing compound from neem which has pesticidal function, that is also protectable. So, either new material or new method or new application, very simple. For example, when aspirin was found to be useful as blood thinner, right, that was a new application, and one could file protection for that. When engineering designs, we have design patent, design registration, we also have new inventions. Now, obviously, in engineering products, which is not strictly relevant for our discussion today, the novelty is assessed by different form, feature and functions. But it is very clear that intellectual property right is stressing the various instruments of intellectual property right are stressing different dimensions of novelty. So, if it is copyright, if I have to summarize in one word, it is originality. There are a large number of poems on love, isn't it? But no two poets will express it the same way. So, the concept of love is not new, that is not original, but its expression, its embodiment in a graphic, that is cartoon, picture, painting, or a word or performance, these are copyrightable. Similarly, plant varieties. Now, in plant varieties, many of you would know already, there are several criteria: distinctiveness, uniformity, stability, which we are used. But why are they used? To encourage those breeders who have either discovered a mutation or have developed a selection, by selection or by crossing or by genetical modification, a new variety. There are many farmers varieties which have been registered by NIF in PPVFRA, Plant Protection of Plant Variety and Farmers Right Act. So, there are different instruments, trademark. Gujarat has very vibrant practice of trademark use because of the mercantile society. Everybody wanted to trademark their names, logos and so on. So, trademark practice is very well known in Gujarat, but patents are not so well known. Our contribution to patent, as Dr. Patel mentioned just now, has not been very good. In recent past, it has picked up now, but it can be much higher, given the number of students Gujarat University has, and in sciences, it can pick up very fast. There are few steps that are very important we should take. First step is, when we write synopsis, whether for master's level or PhD level, review of patent must be a must. डॉक्टर साहब किसी का एप्लीकेशन एक्सेप्ट ही मत करिए till he has a section on review of patent. Do you agree with me? Is that all right? Is that a good point? Because you have a precious life. Every young person has a life, unique life, very precious life. If you do something which has been done before, wouldn't you regret it? I spent my life in doing something I wish I had known earlier, then I wouldn't have done the same thing, I would have done something different. And naturally, every life must be allocated for a unique purpose. Otherwise, why would God make us so different? So, the fact that we are all different is meant to be meaningful only by doing something different. And for doing something different, I should know what has been done before. So, to be able to know what has been done before, we obviously do prior art search, we do literature review. But please remember, anything which has been filed for patent, application is published after 18 months. If I send it for journal, it may take 3 years or 4 years. If I refer to books, it may take 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. So, depending upon how many references I have of which kind in my synopsis, I will be able to judge how state of the art my problem is. Very clear. If you have not reviewed the published applications also, they are not patents, but they are applications, but I can review them, they are prior art. Then I am only 18 months behind the state of art. And I don't see any reason why any scientific pursuit should lag behind 18 months of what the state of art is, because before 18 months it is not published, I don't know what has been done by whom, I cannot find out. But after 18 months I can find out all applications in the world are accessible in open access. My colleagues will explain to you the nuts and bolts of how this has to be done. And IIF has filed, as you know, more than 660 patents and plant variety protection and trademarks in the name of children, young children, students, school students, farmers, artisans, and not only in India. The first 3 patents that Indian farmers got in US were for 3 farmers from Gujarat in 2003. Even in mature industry such as tractors. Now, if in a mature industry like tractors, mature industry means where there has not been any breakthrough invention in the last 20-30 years. There has not been any major breakthrough in tractor industry or cement industry or textile. These are mature industries waiting to be revolutionized by some new disruptive technologies, but there have not been any disruptive technology in the last 20-30 years, 40 years. That is why we call them mature industries. Now, if somebody gets a patent in mature industry, that means even in that field where there have not been many changes, you are trying to create a new invention. So, if our farmers from Visakhapatnam or Amreli or Degam or some nearby region can file patents, get patents for their machineries, for their inventions with only 10th pass or less than 10th education, I am sure we can do better. Our students will certainly do better because they have much better knowledge, much more information. Now, when we talk about patent, we should also not forget about open source. And why I want to mention open source, because today one of the most widely used server management system is Linux, isn't it? So, it is an open source. What is the purpose of open source and IPR to be discussed together? The reason is IPR makes knowledge public. It is a contract between society and the inventor. If you disclose your knowledge in a form that a lay person well versed in the field of that domain can practice it, we will grant you to monopolize the right for a given period of time, which is, let us say, 20 years. Let us say you believe, some of you believe that, no, I don't want patents, sir, I want my knowledge to be widely available. Then you can still file a patent and put your knowledge in public domain. You can give 1 rupee license, or you can say everybody can use it without any restriction. That is called as defensive patent. Defensive patent is not to monopolize the right, it is to prevent others from monopolizing the right. That means nobody else can file patent on it now, and thereby prevent our society from benefiting from that knowledge. So, I am not arguing for 1 minute that we must pursue intellectual property right only to monopolize and benefit. Of course, that is a very desirable purpose. A company will not invest in a technology if they cannot extract rent out of it. That means they cannot extract profit out of it. and they cannot extract profit easily out of it if it is public domain. So that is understandable that for commercial growth, for commercial returns, for economic development, we do need IPRs. But I am saying that we can also sometime blend IPR with open source. So what did NIF do? I am just for the sake of information, I am not suggesting that you should do that, but if you wish to do that, it is an idea worth thinking about. Two models were developed in IP, which were not there historically in the literature, in the form that we used. One was the concept of technology commons. The concept of technology commons meant that, let us say, there is a lead innovator who has developed a good innovation, patented, and a lot of people have developed derivative innovations. They have made minor modification. For example, Sati in Saurashtra, some of you must be from Saurashtra. A lot of farmers use Sati, that is motorcycle based flying machine, now chassis based flying machine. 200 fabricators in Saurashtra have made modification in the design. Handio, Sanedo, so many variations have come in that design. Now, what we thought was that, look, we don't want to prevent people to people copying. Please understand what I am saying. Self-employed people, people who work by their hands, farmers, artisans, mechanics. We did not want to prevent them from learning from each other. Because if we do that, then people will become very secretive, our society will not grow. So we said people to people is allowed, people to firm is not allowed. That means if you want to make profit out of it, you should take a license. That is okay. We should not mind it, because what will I get if I file a suit against a fellow farmer for infringement? I will not get anything. The cost of filing a suit will be more than what that farmer can pay. So we don't want to follow the Western model completely. We don't want that our society should become so suspicious, so secretive that they will not even talk in the corridor to each other. You may take away my idea. You know, many students feel like that. We should not have that feeling. That kind of culture we don't want to encourage. Science grows by sharing, by dialogue, by discourse, by debate, by arguments. So we should be open when it comes to discussing with each other. And yes, we should respect. In fact, another thing that our colleagues should check, which I do check in my students' thesis, that if you have talked to people, then surely you should cite them as personal communication. Isn't it? There are ideas, there are references which somebody brings to your notice. Cite that. Personal communication, Anil Gupta, 2013, 23rd October 2013, or something like that. Nothing is lost. That person wouldn't get anything. Anil Gupta doesn't get anything out of it. Why do I care whether you have cited me or not? But you feel good about yourself. As a scholar, we feel good about ourselves that we are dealing with intellectual property in the most ethical and honorable way. What else academic has? Academics have ideas. If you start doing that, we will have more openness in our society, more openness in our departments, more openness in sharing, isn't it? So what does it cost? It costs nothing, just a footnote. What is the problem in giving a footnote? Just give a footnote whenever you draw upon an idea which your colleague, your fellow student, a junior student, a friend, a teacher has shared openly, and you say personal communication. That builds a good culture. So that is also intellectual property, please understand. But it is only copyright. By acknowledging, you are saying, I want that brick that you have baked through your ideas to use in my building of ideas, my building of design, my building of concept and technology. I want to use that brick with due respect and due acknowledgement. So people will say, okay, take more bricks then, isn't it? So your building will become better and stronger and taller. What is the harm? So please understand, IP is not to prevent dialogue. IP is not to make society secretive. IP is not to prevent people sharing their ideas from each other. IP is to encourage it. But it will be encouraged when we follow ethical practices in acknowledging. More you acknowledge, more people will share. And you will be surprised how many people write to us. You know, Hiranmay is sitting here, he knows so many students share their ideas. They share their designs. They tell us what kind of cell, what kind of micro. There was a student, 4 students recently came, and I am sure they will be spending about next 6 months with Hiranmay and his team. They are trying to build a diagnostic device for malaria by using a microscope of 3 inches attached to a cell phone. So there is a cell phone here, they are using a clip on, and there will be a microscope, 3 inches microscope clipped on it. So I can take a photograph of the blood sample drop, then they are developing an algorithm which will do image processing and look at the image of the blood drop of malaria infected versus non-malaria infected. From the proof of concept that they have developed, they have been able to, Ritvik is the name, the team leader, they have been able to develop 75% confidence in their algorithm. They are trying to work more. So I went to BIRAC, Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, which is a DBT body. I had written the cabinet note for that. One of the very vibrant bodies in our country, which invests up to 25 lakh rupees in an idea. I would encourage more of you, most of you, as many of you who are working in the field of biotechnology, to apply to BIRAC for support. 25 lakh just for an idea. Then you have got proof of concept. Then you have got technology. Then you have clinical trial. Entire chain they fund. We should invite Renu Swarup next time. Renu Swarup is the advisor and managing director of BIRAC. We should invite her for a lecture, distinguished lecture here, and she will be very happy to share and help you understand what are the different options. Now, I met a professor in the recent Foundation Day lecture. Secretary DBT was also there, Dr. Raghavan. Dr. Gorti from University of Sciences, Bangalore, who also was working on the same field, in the same field of detection of malaria by using image processing. But they were using different algorithm. I connected these students to Professor Gorti from ISC. Did I lose anything? I didn't lose anything. Will these students gain something? They might. Will Professor Gorti gain something? He might also learn something from these students. While there is an intellectual property, we are also to remember the honeybee network philosophy of cross-pollination. If you come across some good reference, good paper which is useful for a colleague, mark it to that person. Look, I was reading literature, I came across this paper, it might be of interest to you. What have you done? You have reduced the transaction cost of that researcher of finding that paper. I am mentioning these are good practices which generate good culture, good environment for production of good IP. Please appreciate, good IP cannot be produced only by one person's labor. Those days are gone, when Newton will sit under a tree and an apple will fall and then something will happen. Those days are gone. Now it's a teamwork. So IP, discussion on IP today is as much as discussion about team building. If we can't build team spirit, if we don't share work with each other, if I have come across a good reference and it is useful to somebody else, no, that person doesn't talk to me well, I will not share this. Now, is that the way to deal with it? No. Maybe after you share this, the person will talk to you better. And that is good. So please be inclusive. If you come across something which is not useful for you as much as for someone else, mark it up, mark it to that person. What will happen then? That person's prior art collection becomes wider, broader. That means the quality of IP that person will make will become better. Sometimes what will happen, and I tell you this from my personal experience, I do this sharing, sometimes many people will not reciprocate. Do I become poorer for that? No. I do my job, they do their job. If they don't reciprocate, I will not stop doing this. I am saying cross-pollination of ideas, connecting, sharing references with each other, pointing out errors in each other's work. If you have come across a patent which you think is also already revealing what that person is doing, please tweak your system, find out a little more novel way of doing this so that you don't infringe somebody else's patent. IP is also about not infringing others' IP. You understand the point? Because that is a very costly game. As India progresses, as more and more companies come to operate in our country, they will have strong IP team. They have all of them have a strong IP team. They have hundreds of lawyers. They will start making our life difficult if we don't take care in terms of infringement. Freedom to operate, my colleagues will, Venkat will explain to you freedom to operate. How do we judge how much freedom to operate we have? Where are the paths where I can walk without infringing on anybody's property? There is a way, otherwise knowledge will not grow. So all these concepts we will deal with. So Technology Common was one concept, another was GTIF, Grassroots Technological Innovation Acquisition Fund, where NIF acquires the IP rights and then makes them available at low cost or no cost to small entrepreneurs. Supposing you have a diagnostic technology, which our pathological labs in Gujarat don't have, but with your method, their accuracy can improve. But a small pathology lab, supposing you want 5 lakh as a license fee, they cannot pay 5 lakh. A small pathology lab may not be able to pay 5 lakh. So there are two possibilities. One, Gujarat University can create a fund, and we are going to discuss that with alumni. We have to start that campaign to write to the Gujarat University alumni to create a fund for all of you, for your, all the ideas that we are discussing. Through that fund, we can acquire that patent right by giving a small token fee to the inventor, and then make it available to large number of labs, pathology lab, let us say, at 100 rupees, 500 rupees, whatever you want. That is also one of the useful purposes. There is no point in having a patent and not getting it used. And hardly 2 or 3% patents are commercialized. That doesn't mean that they don't have utility in them, but somebody is not able to license them. Those who need it, in our country, we know most of the growth in our Gujarat itself comes from small enterprises. The maximum economic contribution is made by small enterprises. Maximum jobs are generated by small enterprises, but they may not be able to afford the fees that you will like to charge from them. How do they become inventive? They cannot have an R&D team. So then they should have access to our knowledge, which means we should not mind providing licensing rights of our IP at small fees level to large number of people. That is also joy, that my technology is being used by 5,000 people. Isn't that a matter of pride? And sir, we should give award to such people whose technology is used by large number of enterprises at Convocation Day. I will appeal to Dr. Patel, because that is a great public contribution you have made. Having an IP and keeping it in the shelf doesn't give us that much credit. What credit would it give except that yes, we have done something good? That itself will be a number useful. I am not saying it is not useful, but getting our invention used is the purpose why we are doing this work. And getting it used by the small enterprises is even a greater purpose, because the engine of growth of our country is driven by small enterprises. They are the ones who are running our society. They are the ones who are running our economy. We need almost 1 million jobs every year. Yesterday we were talking to a young entrepreneur, Sanjay, a startup village. I will invite him. We should create a similar incubator in Gujarat University. And this boy, young boy, 24, 25, has set up an incubator in Kerala for student enterprises. 800 incubations, 150 companies set up in 2 years. I thought Gujarat was the land of enterprise. ये केरला कहाँ से आ गया बीच में? सुनो ना बात को. Kerala was never known for entrepreneurship as that. They were strong trade unions, rights, entitlement. Now they are moving on the path of entrepreneurship, and we are moving on the path of entitlement, unfortunately. हमको ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए, मांगना चाहिए, अपना अधिकार भी मांगो. But the culture, our culture is entrepreneurial culture. It's not entitlement based culture. And entrepreneurial culture should obviously produce large number of companies. So we will discuss with Dr. Patel and Dr. Jain and other colleagues, Dr. Dave and others, that how can we make the system of innovation incubation more vibrant, so that many of you can set up your companies when you are still a student. Wouldn't that be nice? And if you can invite, every year there is a vibrant Gujarat. I would say Dr. Patel should invite those high net worth Gujaratis to come and invest in this company. It is possible. We can share a catalog of your technologies at Vibrant Gujarat. I mean, Gujarat government will be certainly happy to do that. And we invite them that, look, these are technologies available for investment. Why not? GTU can also do that. Let us try to create an ecosystem where when every year Gujaratis come back to home to visit their relatives, they also bring their checkbook to invest in your ideas. And I am sure they will like to do. Within Gujarat there are people who will like to do. Within country there are people who will like to do. Eventually venture capitalist firm will also come. But what we have realized is that at early stage, when technology is only at a lab scale, we never get venture capital. So don't have false expectation that because you have filed a patent, you will get a lot of money tomorrow to invest in it. That's an unfair expectation. When I told you that only 2 or 3% patents are commercialized, in any case it is very competitive. But patents are a good way to give a signal to the world, I exist. How would the world know? Publication will take 3-4 years. Application is after 18 months. After 18 months, your flag is flying. Notice me, I am here. I have done something worthwhile. You need to contact me if you think I am coming in your way. And if you don't come in anybody's way, you don't matter actually. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't come in anybody's way, then nobody takes note of you. Coming in the way means they cannot progress without talking to you, without dealing with you, without negotiating with you. That is the kind of technology that you have developed, that further growth will require your involvement. Your brick is very precious. That should be used. So let me summarize by saying that IP is not against open access. It's not against public domain. We can use defensive patent. We can also have aggressive patent. We can enforce IP differently against fellow small entrepreneurs as against large companies. We can have different licensing models. We can also have models where we can, instead of having high down payment fees, license fee, we can say, okay, as you earn, let me get a small equity. As you earn more, I will also get a share in royalty. You must have read about that girl, class 8th girl, Shalini. Do you remember? Anybody remember that invention she did? No? Nobody remembers Shalini's invention? It was in the newspaper. She observed that her grandfather, who used to use a walker while walking, could not climb the stairs. Now you remember? And she just did not make anything. She just suggested, why can't we have adjustable height legs in the walker? And IIM team, Dr. Vipin and his team got it fabricated, tested, so much so that Harshit, a student of IIMA, had a fracture in his leg. He was using it, and he sent us a video of using it. So a student of IIMA, having done IIT and IIMA, he is using an invention based on the idea of a little girl, class 8th girl, Shalini. Then NIF team licensed it to a company. क्या नाम था company का? Nagpur based company. And that company paid 2 lakh rupees to Shalini's account for a down payment, only to get non-exclusive right. And they will pay 100 rupees per walker as a royalty. And this technology can be given to other people also. Isn't it good? That she is one of the youngest entrepreneurial girl of our country, who has got 2 lakh rupees license fee in class. She is now in 10th. You can also get it. But if you don't get it, don't be disappointed. Again and again I am saying only few patents are commercialized. That's not, so one should not be, let us accept out of 660, our licensing may be about 80 technologies. We have not licensed more than that as yet. We might in future. So even NIF's rate is only about more than 10%, 12%, 13%, because of a very aggressive approach. Otherwise, they would have been also at 2 or 3%. So if you are very successful, very aggressive, then 10%. Otherwise, 1 or 2%. So 90% people will not have this privilege. So they should not feel disappointed. They have done their job. Market did not see the value of that technology today. It doesn't matter. That's okay. So IP is very important for building good relationships. IP is very important for making community culture alive. IP is important for students to share work with each other or ideas with each other, provided we respect IP. That means acknowledge their personal communications, which is IP. And we should reduce transaction cost of each other when we share the references or literature or ideas. IP itself reduces transaction cost of investor and entrepreneur. How would entrepreneur come to know? By scanning IP database. How would an investor come to know? By scanning IP database. So what you are trying to do by using intellectual property is to reduce transaction cost of finding, for the rest of the world to find you out. Knowledge economy has only one standard. गुजरात का स्टैंडर्ड अलग है, अमेरिका का अलग है, ऐसा नहीं है भाई. एक ही स्टैंडर्ड है नॉलेज इकोनॉमी में, और वो यूनिवर्सल स्टैंडर्ड है. इफ योर नॉलेज हैज़ अ वेल्थ, as a value, it will be respected no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter which university you are. While university's reputation matter, but reputation of an individual research matters even more. That is how university reputation is built. So once you will surpass GTU's record of 1000 patents, तो फिर डॉक्टर पटेल कहेंगे हाँ भाई गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी ने उनसे भी अच्छा कर दिया, और करना भी चाहिए. इस साल का हमारा टारगेट होना चाहिए, मिनिमम टारगेट मैं बोल रहा हूँ. डॉक्टर साहब ने बताया कि 50 स्टूडेंट ग्रेजुएट करेंगे इस साल, सही है सर, और 50 ऐसे हैं जिन्होंने काम खत्म कर लिया, लिख रहे हैं अपनी थीसिस. Am I right? These 100 should look at their work, tooth combing जैसे बोलते हैं ना, कंघा लगाना, कंघे से करना है, थीसिस को देखना है कौन सी चीज़ इसमें ऐसी है जो आपने पहली बार किया. Either as a process, as a material, you have developed some molecule, केमिस्ट्री में बनाते हैं लोग, या कोई नया एप्लीकेशन ढूंढा है, कोई भी चीज़ जो बिल्कुल जो और विच इज़ टेंजिबल, विच कैन बी एम्बेडेड इनटू अ प्रोडक्ट, which can be commercialized, which can be industrially applied. Those kinds of findings are amenable to protection of patent. You can file more than one patent also. One should not try to claim too many things in one patent. That is one of the problem that we have in our patent. We try to claim too much, file different patents, and I am sure there will be some funds we can mobilize, I suppose, in the university for. We will have to create some fund. We can take small equity in lieu of that. See, if you take fund from university, then you have to share some equity with the university, isn't it right? So we will try to create some, we will discuss some funds can be created. We can also request Gujarat government. Gujarat government gives 50% subsidy, and I had pushed for that policy. I had written that, that was when Kirit Shelat was Industrial Commissioner. At that time the policy was made, many of you are not aware, but you should use that policy. You get 50% fee reimbursed by Gujarat government for international patent. So use that. And earlier they used to do it, give it after the grant. Now they do also at the stage of filing, because the cost comes before. So there are policies of Gujarat government also. Many people are not aware, but we can encourage them to have more policies. That's not a problem. We want to encourage this. We will work with them. We'll work with the university. We'll try to improve the environment. But cost is not too much. 15,000 में पेटेंट फाइल करवा देते हैं हम लोग. 5,000 रुपये तो फीस है ना स्मॉल एंटिटी के लिए, तो 5,000 तो कर ही लोगे कहीं ना कहीं से इंतजाम, हाँ हो सकता है ना. तो इट्स नॉट टू मच. And we will have another workshop today. We will discuss the general framework, but we can have another workshop when you have identified the problem. We can have a 2-day workshop on drafting. We'll invite some patent attorneys. Our colleagues have also knowledge. We'll invite 4 or 5. Have we? Today also you have invited. Good. So what we will do, we will help you to draft. All of you sit down for 2 days, work out the drafts, evaluate each other's draft, look at their claims. Are claims too narrow? One of the problem in our country is we make very narrow claims. CSIR also used to file very narrow claims. Now people are learning that claim is what the territory that you occupy. So छोटी territory में क्यों राजा बनना है, बड़ी territory का राजा बनो, है कि नहीं? So how to write broad claims, how to write primary claim, secondary claim, all this we will work in a workshop. We will be very closely working with you. I assure you of our full support. My only request is 50 is the minimum number that by March 2015 we should achieve. हो सकता है सर? क्यों भाई? You think? How many of you will be able to file by March 2015? Raise hands. क्या हुआ? 1, 2, बस that's all? क्यों बाकी लोग क्यों नहीं खड़े हाथ खड़े कर रहे? You are in the first year, second year, early stages में है अभी. Is that the reason? Okay, I understand. But there are no final year PhD students here. कोई नहीं है? खड़ा करो, हाथ खड़ा करो ना, बताओ तो सही कौन कौन है, बोलो बोलो. तो क्या दिक्कत क्या है फाइल करने में? बताओ बताओ प्लीज.
We are not very aware about this process and we are
सवाल पूछो, क्या क्या दिक्कत है?
actually we are lacking some knowledge about this and there are some issues. Means what are the data equals to them and what are the new new development, and we have developed process.
Okay.
But
what have you done?
Actually we have synthesized some compounds and but they might have already synthesized.
नहीं, but you know that there is a library of compounds. 2 मिनट लगते हैं पता करने में ना वो compound बना है कि नहीं बना.
And there are means they have some similar methods they have also used, but we have some changes. May have some made changes.
See, Dr. Anamik Shah, you know Dr. Anamik Shah, no? He is one of the very renowned professors. We can take his advice also. He has a library of compounds. उन्होंने जो भी synthesized compound की एक library बनाई है. And he also helps in licensing. अगर उनकी लाइब्रेरी में आप डिपॉजिट करते हैं ना अपना इन्फॉर्मेशन सर, ही इज हेल्पिंग द यंग स्टूडेंट्स टू लाइसेंस. डॉक्टर पारिक जब वहाँ पर प्रोफेसर थे, डॉक्टर मिसेस पारिक, उन्होंने रिकॉर्ड बनाया था. मालूम है वायग्रा जब इन्वेंट हुआ था 20 दिन के अंदर वहाँ के स्टूडेंट ने बना दिया था, सिंथेसाइज कर दिया था उस कंपाउंड को, है ना भाई. तो वी हैव लॉट ऑफ एक्सपर्ट्स इन गुजरात हु कैन हेल्प अस. जरूरी नहीं है सारी चीज़ों का एक्सपर्टीज एक ही जगह पर हो, बट नेटवर्क मीन्स दैट वी कैन ड्रॉ अपॉन देयर हेल्प. and he's a very helpful person. I'm sure professor would know them. I mean, they will be friends. So we can get this question can be easily answered कि भाई वो process है unique नहीं है. फिर क्या होगा, मान लो कि तुमने अप्लाई कर दिया, प्रोविजनल एप्लीकेशन फाइल करो पहले तो. प्रोविजनल में तो कोई पैसा लगता नहीं ज़्यादा, फटाफट हो जाती है. प्रोविजनल से 1 साल मिल जाता है हमको, वो हमारे कुलीग बताएंगे. राइटर सर्च करो, जब एप्लीकेशन फाइल करोगे कोई अपोजिशन फाइल करेगा, उसका नहीं करेगा तो तुम्हारा को मिल गया अधिकार, खत्म हो गई बात. तो औरों को भी काम करने दो ना, सारा काम तुम ही करोगे क्या? So let other people oppose your application, and if they don't oppose, bad for them, good for you. Get. तो कोशिश करो, let us aim at, our aim should be big, it's not too big, but 50 is not too big a number for a university of this size, but let us aim at 50 patents, sir. Let us aim at 50 patents, और जिस दिन आप लोग 50 पेटेंट करेंगे हम लोग फिर मिलेंगे, चाय वाय पियेंगे, गरम समोसे खाएंगे. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening speech. All the suggestions, inspirations have been thankfully received, acknowledged, and I'm sure that they will be faithfully applied. So, as far as filing a 50 patent is concerned, I don't think that is a big deal. We can do it. Only thing, the purpose of this today's workshop is that let us create the awareness. Let us.
जो unpublished thesis है ना, उनको भी review करना चाहिए.
Yes, sir.
Even those theses which were submitted last year, last before year, where they have not been published as yet, they are all eligible for filing patent. So please set up some small task forces in each department and let that task force look at, contact those students also, and be inclusive in giving credit. देखिए thesis तो आपकी अकेली है, but when it comes to patent, you might like to consider if other people have also contributed. And it is your conscience, it is a contract between you and your conscience. Be as inclusive, be as liberal, be as generous. तो आपको कभी पता चलेगा शेयर करने से कभी कोई घटा नहीं है, कोई गरीब नहीं हुआ शेयर. When you become inclusive, relationships get built, department culture gets built, people want to be more helpful to each other. That's what we want in our department.
और जो दूसरी बात ये कि जो स्टूडेंट्स के हाथ नहीं खड़े हुए आफ्टर योर रिक्वेस्ट ऑफ फाइलिंग 50 पेटेंट्स, इट इज़ नॉट दैट दे आर नॉट कैपेबल और नॉट एबल टू डू इट, बट दे आर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट हाउ टू गो अबाउट इट एंड what is the inducement they have to go about it. उससे मिलकर उसको फ़ायदा क्या है, वो कब होगा, उसका स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है, उसके फाइनेंस कौन करेगा, उसको सपोर्ट कौन करेगा, ये सारी. सर मेरे को पहले, क्योंकि आई एम ए स्टूडेंट, लेट मी, आई एम ए टीचर एज वेल एज ए स्टूडेंट, द क्वेश्चन विच इज रेज्ड बाय दिस फेलो इज माय आल्सो क्वेश्चन. आई एम कमिंग हियर ओनली फॉर PhD, वेयर minister says no, your PhD should be finished in 3 years, and where you are saying that filing a patent will take 5 years. So what is the thing, where I will be involved, where I will go? I have to take care of my service, I have to take care of my marriage, I have to take care of my wife. So how to get all these things on one platform and where the patents can also be filed. ये सारी बातें issues हैं, इसको ही आज हम इस वर्कशॉप में कुछ सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करेंगे. एंड बाय द एंड ऑफ द डे, विद द हेल्प ऑफ द वाइस चांसलर, विद द हेल्प ऑफ द डायरेक्टर NIF एंड अनिल गुप्ता जी विजन, आई थिंक वी शुड कम आउट विद सम कंक्लूजन कि इसको कोई पूरा सिस्टम हमको कोई सपोर्ट करे, हमको क्या तकलीफें हैं वो सारी बातें और खुल के बातें हों. जो स्टूडेंट्स की बातें वो बिल्कुल, ये सब मेरे साथ तो ये नहीं होता है, मैं तो ये नहीं करता हूँ, वो ऐसे बोलते हैं वैसे बोलते हैं. लेट अस पुट आवर ब्रेन्स टुगेदर एंड कम आउट विद सर्टेन सोल्यूशन. दिस इज, एंड आई प्रॉमिस यू सर, एक बार ये सब आप एक बार थोड़ा सा हमारे को रास्ता दिखा देंगे तो गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी के पास इतनी कैपेबिलिटी है कि 50 पेटेंट्स फाइल करना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है सर. थैंक यू वेरी मच सर. नाउ आई हैंड ओवर द.
कह रहा था कि जो लोग जिनकी टेक्नोलॉजीज का सोशल एप्लीकेशन है ग्रासरूट लेवल पर, उन लोगों को अगर वो पेटेंट फाइल करते हैं दिसंबर तक, जनवरी में एक इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है IIM के, ICCIG.org. I will invite them there. आपको मेरे को बस भेजना है लेटर एप्लीकेशन कॉपी, and I will invite you to the international conference on techpedia and innovation grassroots, where innovation for grassroots, innovation from grassroots, innovation with grassroots, all the 3 things we are discussing. So if your technology has social applications, I will invite you. You will be our guest in January 19 to 22nd. You can display the posters, and you can display your poster also there. And our honorable president will inaugurate it on 19. I will be requesting the sir to join and other people to join. So this everything is confirmed. You will have your chance to show your artwork to the president of the. That much we can. तो एक इंसेंटिव मैंने कहा थोड़ा सा देते हैं क्योंकि जनवरी में ज़्यादा
Yeah, I will circulate your mail to everyone present here.